Hey NBA fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at all the latest NBA news and rumors. The trade deadline is over, but there's a lot of crazy things happening right now in the NBA. Let's go ahead and start with the biggest news. Jimmy Butler is already recruiting Joel Embiid for the 2020 offseason, 2021 future NBA season. Here's the deal. So fans right now in Philadelphia are frustrated with the current state of the 76ers. They have two superstars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and yet they seem very ill-prepared for a deep playoff run in the Eastern Conference. It feels like no one is going to pick the 76ers to be successful in the Eastern Conference, and a lot of that is stemming from Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid not being a fit together, that they've never really been a fit together, because Simmons can't shoot, and Joel Embiid has been injured most of his career. Well, if you remember, Jimmy Butler was a 76er not too long ago. He is trying to get Joel Embiid, it feels like, down to Miami with the Heat to put on the villain mask just like LeBron James did and try and rule the Eastern Conference side by side. He wants a trade this offseason. So, first off, there's no point in trying to think about signing Joel Embiid because he just signed a $148 million extension until 2023. So he would have to be traded. Trade deadline's passed. This is a future offseason move. But basically what happened was, after a recent 76er loss, Joel Embiid took to Instagram and posted a picture of him shushing the crowd with a caption that was changed but originally read, quote, "You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain." An obvious shot at the Philadelphia fans and all the people who boo him 9 in and 9 out in Philadelphia. He later would change the Instagram caption to just something like peaceful or something like that. So obviously someone said, "Joel, change that, please." Well, on that Instagram post, Jimmy Butler commented, quote, "I know a place where villains are welcome." How about that? I mean, listen, they have been linked together for a long time. They like playing together. There were reports, obviously, that Jimmy Butler had kind of butted heads with a lot of players, but it seems like Joel Embiid is probably one of those guys of his former teammates he's really wanted to go ahead and play with, and there's a very real possibility this could happen this offseason because it feels like Philadelphia and the 76ers are coming to this breaking point where they're either going to get rid of Ben Simmons or get rid of Joel Embiid. I really thought they were going to trade Ben Simmons at the trade deadline. They intended not to. I was hoping for a D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons swap to get some shooting at the point guard position. Wouldn't that be amazing alongside Joel Embiid? But maybe the future solution is a trade with Miami to send Embiid down there to South Beach. Now, you're probably asking, Thomas, don't they have a really good team in Miami right now? The answer is yes. And don't they have a really good young center? Yes, Bam Adebayo has been a very good center for the Miami Heat right now. But you compare his stats to Joel Embiid this year. Embiid scoring more, he's rebounding more, a little bit less assists, but he also shoots threes. And so you look at the total comparison. Would this be an upgrade down south? Yes, it would be. And you got to wonder, with Giannis seeming like the supreme leader of the Eastern Conference with Milwaukee for years to come, could Miami be the super team that they could try and build to go ahead and match him? Think about the landscape this year. Eastern Conference is literally a one-horse race. Sure, Miami and Butler with Andre Iguodala, they could make a run this year, but who's going to beat Giannis in a 7-game series? Doesn't feel like anybody. But Butler plus another star big, or if I would say superstar like a Joel Embiid, could be the future merging that gets the job done to go ahead and knock off Milwaukee from the Eastern Conference crown. Quick ad break here. Don't worry about it. Answer the pinned comment regarding this topic down below. Would you like to see Joel Embiid traded to the Miami Heat? Would Butler and Embiid work in Miami? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, other news here regarding the Golden State Warriors. Looks like old Warrior Andre Iguodala feels pretty good about the Warriors' chances going forward in 2020, going into the 2020-2021 NBA season, because he thinks the Dubs are going to, quote, wreak havoc on the NBA once Steph and Klay get back. So, of course, the Warriors, we know. Let's just recap. Major injuries. This has been not your brother's Warriors the past couple of years here. They've been absolutely terrible this year with no Steph and no Klay, and Draymond has regressed down to a single-point average in every single major statistical category. It's been really bad. Remember, they traded Andre Iguodala this offseason. Well, he finally was released from his purgatory in Memphis, is now a member of the Miami Heat, and the Heat were in Golden State on Monday, and they did this nice tribute, the Warriors did, the Chase Center, for Andre Iguodala, and Iggy stood up with the microphone in front of the arena and the crowd and said, quote, "I appreciate you guys being loyal Bay Area fans. My brothers, aka Steph and Klay, will be back in action full throttle next year to wreak havoc on the league for 80 games. Love y'all." Okay, listen, we've talked about this a lot here on Chat Sports, and how the Warriors are going nowhere this year. They have zero shot. Even if Steph came back March 1st, which is the rumor, we'll have to wait and see. If Klay were to come back, they are so far behind in the West. And after trading for Andrew Wiggins, trading away D'Angelo Russell, it seems basically impossible they make a playoff run this year. But we all realize This is the exception. This is not the rule. When you get Steph and Klay and now Andrew Wiggins and Draymond, they're all back together, and then coming up next year, this is going to be a very dangerous and a very deadly Warrior squad that I think a lot of people will have forgotten of because we love to talk about the Lakers and LeBron, the Clippers and Kawhi, Harden, the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Jazz. Like, there are a lot of big contenders in the Western Conference, but we forget that the best of the best, even without Kevin Durant, are waiting in the wings right now, waiting for their injuries to heal, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Just the Warrior future assets. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the 2020 first-round draft pick, which most likely they will get from Brooklyn. They obviously traded for Andrew Wiggins and a couple of 2020 second-round picks as well. They are fully loaded with cap space at 2 to go into the offseason, sign players, maybe make some trades, draft some players, and get Steph and Klay back. I totally agree with Andre Iguodala. The Warriors will be back next year, and they could be the team to beat in the Western Conference. Question for you guys here. Will the Warriors be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference playoff standings next year? Like, top 3 seed. That means they could be 3 behind the Clippers and the Lakers. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Type Y for yes. Type N down below for no. And if you like the Warriors' chances right now, like the Heat chances right now, you want to bet on the NBA, how about our friends at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code DEAL120 to get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Meaning, put $100 down. You want to bet that on the Warriors or the Heat or the Lakers or whatever. You use our promo code DEAL120. That turns into $220 for you guys to bet on. A lot of great success stories in the comments. You guys want to scroll through those. Go ahead and bet with our friends at BetDSI. There's something brewing in Atlanta right now, and it's very recent, and the national media is not talking about it at all, but we're going to talk about it right here, and that is Trae Young being upset at not only the roster, but also upset with his head coach as of, 2 days ago. So here's the deal. Trae Young was one of many left off of the final Olympic roster. Remember, the Olympics came out in terms of the NBA national team. Here's your 44 players, the pool that the 12-man roster will be picked from. Trae Young was left off of it, and guys like Derek White and Chris Paul, and I'm trying to think of another name that was on there. Harrison Barnes was on this list. Players that you'd go, are they really better than Trae Young? Like, Trae Young is good, and he's young, but he's still better than a lot of these other guys that were selected on the NBA, or I should say the national team for the 2020 Olympics. The problem is, not just that he was left out, his own head coach, Hawks coach Lloyd Pierce, is an assistant on the team, and he came out and defended the move in terms of saying why they did not get Trae Young, saying, quote, when asked, why didn't you decide to pick Trae Young for the team? Quote, no, because honestly, I respect the league. I respect the levels and layers you have to go through. Pierce said, Trey's having a great year. These guys have had great careers, and you just have to go through certain things. You have to understand when it's your time, when it's your opportunity, and he continued on for a lot longer, basically saying that he does not think Trae Young is deserving of being a part of the men's national team. 13 minutes later, after these comments, Trae Young tweeted, we'll throw that up for you guys right now. I got to pull it up on my computer so I can actually read exactly what it says here. But Trae Young said, you guys see it in front of you, quote, that's interesting, with the thinking emoji and the facepalm emoji. That is 100% about what his own head coach had to say. Lloyd Pierce, after the Hawks game that night against Orlando, had to come back out for his post-game press conference, looked scared and was like, whoa, I did not mean that. Trae Young's a great player. He'll eventually become an all-star in this league, a superstar in this league. He had to backtrack, but Trae Young seemed to be very upset with the current state of the Hawks and his head coach and Lloyd Pierce. We know a couple of months ago, there were multiple reports from The Athletic and the AJC down in Atlanta saying that Trae had gone to management and had asked him to get trade help. They traded for Clint Capella, but it seems like this shot that was not intended by Lloyd Pierce has come back to be kind of a negative overtone on Trae Young right now. We'll have to see what happens with the young Atlanta Hawks superstar and the head coaches. The Hawks have been terrible this year. They're the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and if Trae Young continues to be upset, maybe he wants to force his way out of Atlanta going forward. But I'm very curious what you guys think in terms of Trae Young being upset about the Olympic team. Like, I get it. He's one of the 44 best players in the NBA. But does he deserve to be there, being so young, only 2 years into the league? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Does he deserve to make the team? Type 1 down below for yes. Type 2 down below for no. He's a rising star in this league, and if his head coach and himself are butting heads right now, then the Hawks are going to keep Trae Young over Lloyd Pierce. Just a matter of fact, that's how the NBA works. Final bit of news here on our NBA news and rumors here. There are a lot of playoff potential buyouts that could be happening. And I believe Tom and Harrison talked about this in a previous mailbag video a couple of days ago. But obviously, with the deadline being done, teams can still get better by getting teams who are bought out of their, or getting players who are bought out of their current contracts. There are some big names that could be let go, and I figured I'd give you 4 names that could be let go, and your team, as they make their way to the NBA Finals, as they make a playoff run, could go ahead and pick them up. So throw up the 4 players I think that could be bought out, starting with Tristan Thompson, Evan Turner, Reggie Jackson, and Maurice Harkless from the Knicks. All 4 of these are likely to be bought out, and Tristan Thompson is kind of the biggest name on here. If your team, like a Boston, is in need of a good defensive, rim-protecting, rebounding center, here is Tristan Thompson, who's making about $18 million a year from the Cavs. They've given him more than half of that through this year. They could buy him out. He essentially becomes a free agent and can sign with any team. Evan Turner, Reggie Jackson are both kind of similar in terms of the fact that they're most likely to be bought out of their squads, and they can go ahead and play on any team going into the postseason, depending on when they're signed. You think of a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who was recently bought out by the Clippers when he was traded from the Wizards. I believe it was the Wizards. When he was traded over to the Clippers, they immediately bought him out. He's a free agent. So there's a lot of big names as we sit here with the trade deadline past. Your team might have not been able to go out and get somebody, you know, the addition that you needed. Boston was very quiet during the trade deadline besides sending somebody away, but in terms of acquiring people, they didn't do much. So maybe if your team needs someone, here are 4 players they can potentially go ahead and get as well. Before we finish, 1, you need to subscribe to Chat Sports because we're approaching, 160,000 subs. We're going crazy right now, 157,000 on the channel. If you like what we do, click the red subscribe button down below. And also, Valentine's Day being so close, it's just this Friday. Why don't you go ahead and use our link, chatsports.com/flowers. You get 15% off any flower purchase at all. The entire Pro Flower website, chatsports.com/flowers, 15% off your order. Get them for your mom, get them for your girlfriend, get them for your wife. Flowers make a difference, even if they don't seem to like them. Trust me, it's the thought that counts. We'll help you out here, chatsports.com/flowers. All right, there you go. All the latest NBA news. The whole Embiid Butler thing got a lot of national attention. I want to share with you guys here. I think that's a recruitment starting to happen. The Warriors, yes, they are going to wreak havoc for sure in the NBA going forward. Trae Young does not seem very happy being left off the Olympic team and does not seem very happy at his coach for agreeing with that. And finally, playoff buyouts. Which one could your team go ahead and get to bolster their chances of going to the postseason? All time we have for today. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.